Hey everyone, welcome back. In this series of video, we'll covering basic Python interview questions and answers every beginner should know. Whether you are preparing for your first developer interview or refreshing the core concepts, the video will walk you through simple, clear explanations and short example. So let's dive in. So first, what is a Python? Python is a high-level interpreted, object-oriented programming language known for its clean and readable syntax. It's dynamically typed and cross-platform, which means you can run Python code almost anywhere on Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. Python is popular for web development, scripting, and automation, data science, and machine learning. In short, it's beginner-friendly and powerful for many real-world tasks. Key features of Python now. It's easy to read and write, so beginners pick it up quickly. Second, interpreted. Python code is executed line by line by an interpreter. Third, dynamically typed. You don't declare variables type explicitly. Fourth, it's object oriented, which lets you model real world entities in code. Fifth, it has a large standard library, so many common tasks are built in. And finally, Python supports multiple paradigms: procedural, functional, and object oriented programming. List versus tuple. Both are sequence data types. A list uses square brackets like this. Like we have to define my list is equal to 1, 2, and 3. The number goes in and we close the bracket. And it is mutable, meaning you can change, add, or remove items in the list. A tuple uses the parentheses like this, and we have to add the data in it like 1, 2, 3, and it's immutable. Once created, it can't be changed. Use a list when you need to modify data, and a tuple when you want a fixed collection or want your data to be hashable or used as a dictionary keys. What is a puppet? Puppet is the official style guide for Python code. It recommends conventions like four-space indentation, snake case for function, and variable names, and limits on line length. Following Puppet makes your code more readable and consistent, especially when you work with teams or open source projects. What is a variable? A variable is simply a name that refers to a value in a memory. In Python, you can create a variable by assignment. For example, name is equal to Asha or age is equal to 25. Times are inferred. You don't need to declare them. Variable let you store and reuse the values across your program. This is a common interview question. What's the difference between equal to and is? Okay, so use equal to compare values for equality. For example, A equal to B checks whether the contents are the same. Use is to check identify whether two name points to the exact same object in memory. For instance, two different lists with the same items equal to but not is. Data types. Common data types include integer for integers, float for decimal numbers, string for strings, list and tuple for sequences. List and tuple for sequences, set for an unordered collection of unique items, and dictionaries for keys, pairs, and bool for true and false values. Knowing when to use each type is basic but important. Data type. So, what is a dictionary? A dictionary stores data as key and value pairs, okay, and is written with a curly braces. Like we have like different student, and we are writing in a curly brace like name, and we are declaring that variable is like name, and then we are assigning the variable is John, and age is 20. So, dictionaries are unordered prior to 3.7, but 3.7 onwards, like Python version, they preserve insertion order. You access values by keys. For example, student's name returns the John. Dictionaries are great for structured data where quick lookup by key is needed. Indentation in Python. Indentation is Python and not just style, it defines code styles, code blocks. Use consistent indentation, typically four spaces per level. Control structure, function definitions, and loops all depend on indentation. If indentation is inconsistent, Python raises an indentation error. What is a function? A function is a reusable block of code that performs a task. You defined it using the def keyword. For example, like you have to write it, define it, like define greet and the name, and then print hello and then the name. Then we call it out. So function helps organize code, avoid repetition, and make testing easier. Break, continue, pass. These are three small but useful keywords in loops. Breaks exit the loop completely, continues keeps the rest of the current loop iteration and moves to the next one. Pass does nothing, it's a placeholder used. And syntax requires a statement but you don't want to do anything. Typecasting. Typecasting converts values from one type to another. For example, if we have int 10 and then we want to convert it to string 10, convert string like, and then like it is going to convert like integer 10 to string 10. Okay, so common casting functions are like int, float, string, boolean. Be careful casting invalid strings with little exceptions. What is an exception? An exception is an error that occurs during program execution and can stop the program unless handled. Python uses try, except, else, and finally blocks for exception handling. What is a module? A module is a file containing Python code, functions, classes, and variables that you can import into other Python programs. For example, if you have math underscore utils.py, you can import math utils and reuse its functions. The Python standard library is a collection of built-in modules like math OSS. Let's say about append and extend. Two list methods you should know are append and sorry append and extend. Append adds a single element to the end of the list. For example, my list dot append 4 adds the integer 4. Extend takes an iterable and appends each of its items. Use append for single items, extend to add the multiple items. And to wrap it up, that's a small video on basic Python interview questions. If you find this helpful, like hit the like button and subscribe for more coding interview content. Thanks for watching this video.